Yeah, I'll always be a metalhead. Nothing can take that away from me.
Right.
I mean, not jail, not people, not religion, not anything. I'll always be a metalhead. Metalhead leaves you all alive.
You're listening to the Great Metal Debate Podcast.
Welcome back, Metalheads. It's Xander back with a new album review. Today, we'll be talking about the newest album from the Swedish melodic black metal band, Lord Belial. This is their 10th full-length studio album titled Unholy Trinity, which was released June 27th through Hammerheart Records. I've been looking forward to this review for a few months. Plus, this is me redeeming myself for not reviewing the previous record, which came out in May of 2022. I wanted to review Rapture, but time just kind of got away from me. So how unholy is the Trinity? Well, very unholy in fact. Lyrically, it's a little cringe. I hate using that word because it is overused in society, on social media, and especially among Generation Z. But I'll make an exception. This is cringe. The satanic lyrics that stood out to me in this record made me roll my eyes pretty hard. Yes, I talked about this in my review for the most recent Dark Funeral album. Both of these bands have been grandfathered in because they've been making satanic metal since the early 90s. But after 30 years, you would think that the lyrics would begin to sound a little more sophisticated instead of sounding like an edgy teenager wrote it. But enough of my boomer-sounding millennial rant. Let's focus on the musical side of things. I'll say this. I don't hate the record. It's mostly good, yet I have my critiques. I'm a huge fan of Lord Belial, but I have never been disappointed by them before. I guess there's a first time for everything. For starters, the opening track, which is also a single, Ipsi Venet, threw me off just as much as last year's single for the newest God Dethroned album and their Asmodeus single. In both cases, even though they are completely different bands, it's easy to make a comparison, especially since both bands have never disappointed until their most recent albums in their long discographies. But I have just one question. What the fuck went wrong with the drum mixing? My god, it is awful. Both the loudness and the tone. I'm not knocking Mickey Backlund's drumming abilities. I think he's a great drummer. But whoever the studio guy is who recorded that album, what did you hear that I'm not hearing? Why is this the only track that sounds bad but not the 8 remaining songs? Moving on to the real album, I guess, we have the second track, Glory to Darkness. Now, this sounds like the Lord Belial I love. The song is good, but my favorite on this album is the next track, Serpent's Feast. I love how ominous the music sounds in this one, with that very melodic yet doomy sound. Plus they have the feminine opera singing in the backtrack. I wish they would have turned her volume up just a hair to make it stand out a little bit more. I also enjoy some of the vocal layering to make Thomas Backlund sound even more demonic. The next song is... Wait a minute, you mean to tell me it took them 33 years of their evil career to finally write a song titled Blasphemy? If I was still an edgy 17-year-old who just recently bought the Blasphemy album by Incantation from FYE, I actually did by the way, I would enjoy the chorus of the song where Thomas says the lyric, "Spit on the cross." I would be saying hell yeah at that point, but I've matured a lot since 2008, so I'm kind of like, whatever. Then there's In Chaos Transcend, which begins with the rattling sounds of chains, and in your mind you'll immediately picture a medieval dungeon, like torture dungeon. This track would be largely forgettable had it not been for the spoken word section of the song, and there's a nice beautiful guitar solo by Nicholas Peppa Green. Coming into my second favorite song on the album, The Whore, I love the way he says, "The whore," in the song. Scornful Vengeance was alright, but also somewhat forgettable. All I do remember about it is when he says the name of the song. The Great Void, on the other hand, has the acoustic or unplugged guitar sound for its beginning, before Mackey's blast beats overpower the guitars and bass once more. At least the drums sound good, but, it still has a weird audio mix. Not quite as bad as that first track, though. I'm still puzzled as to why they decided to make that song. I think it was called Ipsy, whatever. But yeah, that first track, I don't know why the drums sound the way they do. I still want this album on cassette to complete my collection. I'm also still going to buy the Lord Belial t-shirt, but I'm torn on whether I should get the Rapture shirt or the long sleeve Into the Moonlight Gate. But I know for a fact that I won't be getting the shirt for this album, especially since the last song on the album is titled Antichrist. Hearing the lyrics, "In the name of Satan," or "Hail Satan," just made me laugh because it just sounded like satire. But then I laughed even harder when I realized that they were taking themselves seriously. Yeah, I know, I was a little high while writing this and recording it, but I don't regret being so hard on these guys. By the way, what the hell is with the King Ghidorah on the album cover? I hope to one day see these guys live, but man, am I disappointed in this album. I'm still a huge fan of them, but I can't rate this any higher than a 6.66 out of 10. Still support them as they are forever underground, but do it by listening to the rest of their discography instead.